Welcome back to the Student of the Game podcast. Once again, thank you all for tuning in. Please hit the like and subscribe button. It is free of charge. All right, so what we're going to be doing is there's an episode of the podcast called Phase Zero. It's a comic book Marvel podcast. You should check it out. Okay, and they had the director of X-Men 97, Mr. Jake Castorina. Okay, and we're going to find out from Jake, hopefully, why in the hell T'Challa wasn't in that season finale of X-Men 97, but T'Chaka was there. So let's find out. Let's check this out in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Boom. Let's go.
Black Panther of it all are definitely closed doors conversations that I wasn't privy to. That was definitely in Bo and the executives' realm.
hmm
But for us, there's multiple timelines, right?
Absolutely.
There's always a one off. This is exactly how I like it, except for that one thing. Okay, cool, but it's still the thing. So who's to say what timeline is the right timeline, proper timeline? I mean, y'all
Mhm.
aren't even ready for how we're gonna you up in season two.
Oh no.
We tease it at the end of 10. It's like we're gonna have to elaborate on that.
Yeah, it's like can't just leave that there.
Yeah. So and for at least for myself and what we kind of this is set in the 90s. If T'Challa is the natural successor and is more of our era now,
Recording.
he
I'll be
would have
out there in
still
a
been
minute.
a kid at that time. And while it is sort of retconny, based on what 90s episode series you watch, right? Whether it was Fantastic Four, I believe it was Fantastic Four that even
Yeah.
had T'Challa.
Yeah, it's true.
And that was before, like, that was, and just see, nerd. I don't remember if T'Chaka was like assassinated or if like there was a back in time thing, but I remember they did T'Challa. But that's the best thing about our sandbox and multiple universes and things. For us, it just felt right. Like, one, I don't know what the mandates, and I can't speak to whatever the closed door conversations were. But as a storyteller, I'm like, oh, this is not the aughts. This is mid to late 90s. Like, I like the idea that we're seeing the legacy characters. Just for myself as a creative, it's reminding the audiences, oh, this is an earlier time. It's just one of those other things that we could just help remind the audiences, we're not now, we are then. Why did they do this? Because we didn't know about that then, or we couldn't do that then. And so it's the constant, just to kind of check that timeline math, if that makes sense.
Absolutely.
To visually remind the audience, we are in the 90s.
Okay. Um, a lot of times I'm a firm believer of if it wasn't your call to make, well then it's not your call to explain it, especially if you wasn't in the room. If it wasn't he said it wasn't his call to make. He said it was people who was above him, and he mentioned Bo DeMaio. Now, if y'all don't remember, last week Bo DeMaio said he had nothing to do with it. I'm gonna have to find the tweet with his exact quote, but he said he had nothing to do with it. It wasn't his decision. But Jake just said, Bo, you was in that room, bro. So something's going on. Now, Bo, he doesn't, he's not. They fired Bo. We don't know why. We don't know why. So I don't know if we ever gonna figure out why. Um, but I do appreciate him trying to make an attempt to explain. And I'm gonna tell you, based on what he said, it reminds me of like let's say somebody is throwing you a surprise party. And let's say you got a feeling that trying to throw you a surprise party. But you go around asking people, hey man, so you know about my party? And they're like, nah, man, I don't know nothing about it. And they start making stuff up, and then it's like you feel like they're hiding something, or it's something that they want to say, but they just can't say it because if they say it, it could ruin a surprise or something bigger that's coming. That's what I got from Jake right here. Now he did drop a few hints. To me, I felt like they're hints. He started talking about multiverse. He started talking about multiverse. Now, I remember Nate Moore. He had said we're not going to see T'Challa in the 616. X-Men 97 is not the 616. So if there is a mandate going on to keep T'Challa out, well, the mandate's supposed to, well, in theory, the mandate's technically supposed to be keep T'Challa out of 616. But X-Men 97, that's not Earth 616. That's Earth 91321. Earth now, I'm gonna mess around and call it 90210 because that's what it sounds like. But Earth 91321. All right. He also says he mentions and it sounded like he was freestyling it. What I mean is thinking off the top where he was saying, you know, we did have T'Challa in the Fantastic Four episode. You know, I believe he was assassinated or something. So I'm gonna tell you something. I don't think they went back and watched the Fantastic Four episode to add that to the continuity of X-Men animated series. Number one, that's a different Earth. That's Earth 534834. All right. Now, if he did go, if he like, cause think about it, the man just said, I think this is what happened to T'Challa in the Fantastic Four episode or whatever and stuff. Like, if the intentions were to have what the events in that Fantastic Four series follow, you know, be taking place with the X-Men the animated series and Spider-Man animated series, but then that's something he would have known, not he wouldn't be thinking about. And also the Spider-Man animated series is Earth 91321. Yeah, I'm gonna start saying Earth 90210 for real. But anyways, he says it's a big sandbox, and it is a whole giant big sandbox. All right, but it's a sandbox with different Earths. It is, but you know, he mentioned the multiverses, and I think that's how we're going to see another T'Challa. I said this about, damn, has it been 3 years ago? At least 2 years ago, I said, hey, I think we're going to see T'Challa, but he's going to be from a different T'Challa from a different universe. They're done with the T'Challa in the 616. But once all these incursions incur, I believe that we're going to see another T'Challa. And you know, I believe it was Bo DeMaio who mentioned that the reason why we wasn't going to see any Deadpool in here because Deadpool was off limits because they got a Deadpool movie coming out, Deadpool 3. So maybe T'Challa was off limits because they're about to do something with T'Challa. All right. Now, as as an advocate of recast T'Challa, hashtag recast T'Challa, does this make me want to stop and just say, "Oh, Marvel has done enough"? Hey, I'm no longer gonna say recast T'Challa. Hell no. I'm gonna continue to advocate for recast T'Challa until T'Challa has been recast. All right. Not this T'Challa, not this Toussaint or anything like that. No, no. No. T'Challa. We want T'Challa. All right. But yeah, I mean it's a good interview. I'll say check it out. I caught 2 minutes of it. I didn't have time to watch the whole thing. I'll go back and watch the whole thing. But hey, the man said that, you know, he's talking about the whole multiverse stuff, but he wasn't in the room. All right. But I'm pretty sure y'all work jobs or y'all went to school, right? Where just because you wasn't in the room, sometimes some of those people that was in the room, they'll tell some of the other people, they'll drop hints and stuff. And when they tell you that information and somebody asks you about it, you can drop little hints and all this stuff, but you're not going to directly say, oh, yeah, so and so exactly said this exactly. No. So I don't know, but I find it strange. Well, I'm not saying it's strange, but Bo said, hey, he had nothing to do with it. You know, I mean, and Jake says, hey, man, Bo was in there with them, with the upper people, and that's all I know. But hey, man, all I know is T'Challa has not been recast yet. I'm a fan of Marvel. You know, man, I treat this the way I treat how I root for my football teams. I'm a Seattle Seahawks fan. I'm a Houston Texans fan. When the Houston Texans, when they had when they first got Nick Casario there, and they had the other guy from New England, I forgot his name, running stuff. I didn't like what they was doing with the team. I still rooted for the players, still rooted for the team, but I didn't like the decisions they were making. But now that they got D'Amico Ryans there, I mean, I still root for the team, but I root for them even more. But 3 years, had to wait for them to get their stuff together. But I still rooted for my team. I wanted them to win, but it was pretty miserable. It was very, very stressful. Now it's not as stressful with D'Amico Ryans there, C.J. Stroud there, so hopefully the Texans can continue to do some damage, good damage. All right. So I'm hoping Marvel. I'm thinking Marvel. They're in the rebuild phase. Let's see what happens. But I'm still going to be shouting recast T'Challa until T'Challa has been recast. And I'm gonna tell you who should they should recast it with. It should be either Daniel Ezra, who plays Spencer James from the hit show All American, or Derek Luke. One of those two. I'm pretty sure there's some other people who can play it, but those are my top two so far. But anyway, share your thoughts and let me know what y'all thought about this interview and stuff. And please hit that like and subscribe button. Student of the Game Podcast. Peace out.